This is one of the best StarCraft 2 missions in the game. It is honestly one of my favorite missions in any RTS game. I'm sure you know which one it is based on the general layout, especially if you've played StarCraft 2's campaign before. But it's a little bit different. It got even better with a Mobius mod, one of the mods I've been checking out on StarCraft 2's mod manager, which you can check out by going to Giant Grand Games Archive YouTube channel, going through the Discord link, and it should be in the Discord somewhere. And it's the Mobius one, so you got to look for the one that says Mobius on there, and you should be able to figure out which one it is. Now, what makes this mission special? I'm playing on the standard one. If you play on the standard one, there's really nothing super scary or super, like, you got to be kind of cautious. You're not going to lose buildings, really, in the base StarCraft 2 campaign. However, on the same difficulty, which is, I think, normal, you have easy, normal, very hard, and I think brutal. This normal is actually, there are some interesting things that kind of scare you. And up to this point in the game, there were some things that kind of change it up a little bit, which, like, for example, on the lava mission, where the lava rises and lowers, so you get, once it rises or starts to rise, you got to pull all your units and buildings off the low ground. Or at least the only one you should really have to worry about is potentially a command center, which I don't really usually send the command center down there. I usually long distance mine. So there's that. But overall, there were some interesting things in there that changed it up a bit. And it made it fun. And in fact, one of the things I picked up on this mission in particular, when we hover over the command center, like that oil refinery that just appeared right there, how it's a different color, that means that is never going to run out. I think it's always going to stay at around 1,000 gas, so you're always getting gas from that refinery. It never runs out. And there's a few mineral patches that are of similar color that will basically mean the same thing. It's never going to run out. The other patches will, but there's like 2 or 3 usually per expansion area that don't. So you're always having income. And I really like this in an RTS, because a lot of the RTS ones, I hate ones where it's like, oh, you know, you run out of minerals, you run out of resources. It just feels too annoying. You're still incentivized to expand, because if you look, there's only like 2 patches there, and there's a total of like 8 patches or 9 patches there. So if like 2 out of the 7 remain and the 7 others disappear, or 6 others disappear, guess what? You're not going to be mining your minerals fast enough. I mean, as long as you're playing conservatively, you can get away with it, and you're not playing on harder difficulty. But this way, you still have at least some income to potentially, get back in the game. Versus other missions where if you do not quickly expand enough, so in the upper right corner there's an expansion there that's by a bunch of the enemies. If I don't expand there quick enough in other, in the other, like in the base game, it's easy enough in the base game. But let's just say I had to expand there, otherwise I would run out of resources. Well, I'm going to end up in a bad spot, because I'm going to have to take this command center, lift it off, and go over there and take my stuff and defend that new base with what I have. Here, the middle area is kind of like a defense zone where it kind of stops them from going through it. So they're going to take some of the heat off the potential new expansion. But I'm assuming eventually, if I were to take that upper expansion, I'm going to get some, attacks incoming, which is it is what it is. This one is actually a little bit harder to defend. I actually lost a couple structures because there just were certain things that I wasn't expecting. One such is that area right there, a transport truck filled with a bunch of infested zombie type creatures. I'm not sure which ones came out specifically, but I'm not sure if it's like infested marines or infested something else. A bunch of infested units came out of that after the thing was destroyed. So it literally transported right to my doorstep and right with a little bit in front of that turret, and then a bunch of them just popped out. So it got them closer to my base, and it did a little bit of damage to me, and I was honestly shocked. It wasn't something I was expecting. Another thing that I really like about this is they gave those medics, if you spend 50 minerals and 50 energy, I can literally build those turrets that you see flying around. Like, see, like right next to the, on the upper right corner, those 2 turrets I built with the medics. And it's just extra firepower that doesn't take up supply. It's not something I can build with my SCVs. It's a really nice feature. I really like that. It makes the medics, in my opinion, even better. It gives them some, there's another level where you gotta escort these civilians to the escape area, and I ended up using medics a lot more than I did in that mission because I could lay up, along with the bunker, I could lay up a decent amount of those that would take the heat off of not only my own units, but also kill some of the weaker wave of enemies. So it's just like, it's really, really nice. I really like this mod. I really like how it changes this mission in particular and makes it more fun. Now, if you look at the bonus objectives for this on this mod for this mission, it says protect the colony command biodome plus 25,000 credits. That right there incentivizes you to try and clear these bonus objectives. Why? It's an extra 25,000 credits. With those extra 25,000 credits, I am therefore able to, buy more upgrades over time. If I do every single bonus objective as I'm progressing through the campaign, that is more credits that I'm able to spend on, making my medics better, making my marines better, making my structures like my bunkers and missile turrets better. There's just a lot going on for that just really makes the game feel a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. Yes, the base campaign is still pretty good because, let's face it, in my opinion, Starcraft 2 has the best campaign in any RTS game ever. I just have not had as much fun playing through the Starcraft 2 campaign compared to pretty much any other RTS game that I can think of, whether it be from Command & Conquer. I know what, I take that, even Starcraft 1 Brood War and the remaster. Like, if you're just talking about gameplay mechanics and not, like, story, I'm going to say right now, better than Starcraft 1. Warcraft 3, I really like Warcraft 3, but in my opinion, it is one of the weird things about Warcraft 3 that I'm usually I'm very huge into a lot of fantasy type games or movies or TV shows, anime, manga, pretty much anything fantasy related from any of those types of content. I can just be like, yeah, you know what, I'm interested in this. I really like it. The typical fantasy. But Warcraft 3, there's something about it where I don't enjoy it as much as Starcraft. And I'm not sure if that says anything about Warcraft 3 or if it just says something really about the Starcraft universe, that it does something right that just makes it that more interesting. And I'm not as interested in the sci-fi type stuff, so I'm thinking it's probably the fact that Starcraft just does something right. Because, I'm not really interested in Star Trek. I'm a little interested in Stargate, not as much. Star Wars, the older stuff, like the older games and whatnot, I was interested in. Not so much the movies or the TV shows. But overall, this game is just really, really good in this mission. Like, they added these infested, and they are annoying. They're not super big of a threat unless you keep getting fungled a bunch by, like if you run into a group of them, like 3 or so, and then just keep fungling the same units, then it can get into a little sticky situation. But right here, like, watch, I'll go up here, boom, they're going to fungal, and then they run away. Throw some more of those guys, spawns, and then runs away. It's annoying, and it's effective. It makes it feel like, oh crap, I got a bunch of weak units. Because, they soak up some of the damage with the energy shields, which is something that ain't in the base game. I'm not sure if you were paying attention to that, but if you played the base game, see that little blue bar above the green bar on my units that I'm moving around? Guess what? That's energy. And, not energy, it's the shields. It's different. Energy actually would be like the medic's healing, but It's a shield to protect them from incoming damage. Like that one was almost dead. That was in the red. And I actually lose units going and clearing the area. I'm actually a lot slower because I'm like, wow. If this area where there's not the sunken, spine or spore crawlers, potential Zerg units in the areas, I wonder how hard it's going to be to go through the actual base portions of that. So, I was a little bit cautious, and I was just trying to clear up as many of these buildings as possible to hopefully, not have to deal with this as much. But overall, this honestly was very fun. And in fact, at some point, I might go and play through this on harder difficulties. And for the casual people who just really like to play games that don't really care too much about playing on the hardest difficulty or looking for the most challenge, and you're worried about this being a little too challenging, maybe play it on easy. But I'd say normal is probably pretty good. You might lose a few times, but I don't honestly foresee it being as restart intensive as playing on brutal or hard, or very hard. If you're a new player or a casual player who just doesn't want to play optimally, or actually play at the high pace level that sometimes it requires you to play at in the higher difficulties. If you know what you're doing and you've already beaten this, then it can be a little bit easier because you kind of already know what to expect. But for first time players of this mod in particular, I'm not talking about Starcraft 2 as a whole. Starcraft 2, if you're new to the game, playing it on normal, pretty easy. But yeah, I mean, look right here. The bunkers are actually kind of annoying. The buildings themselves actually recover pretty quickly if you Now, if you're attacking them, I don't think they're in the recovery mode. But if you let them get time to recover, like if you have to back up, they can actually regenerate, which is kind of annoying. And there we go. I seen that and I kind of like, okay, I'm backing up. And there you go. They got fungled again. Just little things like that, those little tweaks, even on normal, makes this version of this level even better, in my opinion. But anyhow, I think I've rambled on long enough about how good this mission is. I suggest you go check it out if you want to play it, or maybe you want to see someone's playthrough of it. I'm sure Giant Grant Games has a playthrough of this on a harder difficulty, so if you want to see how crazy it can get, I would go check it out. I'm not sure if anyone else has played or did a complete playthrough of this mod, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. See you guys next time. Peace.